All right, there is another piece of the perfect storm. This is what is happening to our country, and this is going to be the solution in a minute. But there is another piece, because this really is, this is the enemy within. The enemy without we've been fighting now for quite some time. It's Al-Qaeda. And they have now vowed to destroy us by 1,000 paper cuts. They call it Operation Hemorrhage. Bleed us to death. But there's something that you need to understand. They don't mean body count. They don't mean our actual blood. They're not doing that. They're now going to cause maximum economic damage. I want you to look at their words. Our objective is not maximum kill, but to cause a hemorrhage in the aviation industry, an industry that is so vital for trade and transportation between the U.S. and Europe. Why? Why? Because they understand that our mortar is materialism. We'll kill each other if we take our stuff away. Can't let that happen. They have realized they cannot defeat us militarily, and our main weakness is the economy. And they can pit each other. Everybody's pitting us against each other. But the same way, rich versus poor. And they're going to keep cutting and cutting and cutting until there's nothing left to cut anymore. They will not stop until every last drop of our economic blood has dripped out. But they're not the only ones who are cutting at us this way. We've shown you all the anti-free market radicals who have gone from afraid to show their face to being in and around the White House and this administration, and they are actively seeking to crumble the free market system and rebuild it as a socialist utopia. I don't know why anybody in the media doesn't find this important. Oh, they'll talk about the military, they'll talk about, oh, there's another Timothy McVeigh someplace, but they'll never talk about these people. Why? Why? More of these like-minded people showed up at a convention in L.A. earlier this month. It was the Party of Socialism and Liberation Conference. Nobody's showing this on TV. Let me show you the highlights. Listen.
We must kill capitalism or it's going to kill us.
The working class will fight because it must. The question is, will there be a revolutionary party present, available with trained organizers and cadres to take advantage of that struggle, to take advantage of that moment, and build for a fight
into the South, into the trailer parks, the ghettos, the barrios, and the prisons, and anywhere workers are, and organize them to unite based on their class interests and overthrow the capitalist class.
Do you understand this? They are looking for pawns into the trailer parks and the prisons, and they're going to use class warfare. We've got our administration pitting the poor against the rich, and you have people onto the streets that they are connected with. Bottom up, top down, inside out. You get as many pawns as you can. We told you on this program that this administration is using a lot of the tactics first devised by the Weather Underground. The Weather Underground used the same strategy back in the 1960s, except they didn't do rich versus poor. Instead, they used race to get their pawns. But that's being played as well. This is from the 1960s. Quote, blacks have been oppressed and held in inferior social position as a people. They have a right to decide, organize, and act on their own common destiny as a people apart from white interference. By the way, in 1970, if you were black in America, you had a better chance of getting a college education in America than a white man did in Great Britain. Did you know that? Why? That's 1969. Let me show you this. Today, Marxists, they're not hiding anymore. A Marxist in North Carolina told the Technician Online website, quote, it's power we have got to change. It's not just giving stuff out. It's about power. That's our struggle. It's a fight for power. Right now, we see who has all the power in our country, and it's the corporate elite, which is mainly white men. So you got it. So where does it leave it? It leaves us here. Pawns versus defenders. Not defenders of capitalism, but defenders of freedom. The defenders of the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. America, ask your friends and neighbors, what do we progress past? What is a higher ideal than all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Tell me what is a grander idea than that? Which one are you? You may say you're not a pawn. Be very careful. Are there enough defenders? or are there more pawns? See, our enemies need pawns. Why? Because they're wildly outnumbered. How many Al-Qaeda members do you think there really are in America? How many? I mean, I know we've left the border open for 10 years, but how many? How many communists are there? 5,000, 100,000? Let's be generous. Let's say there's 5 million. That leaves well over 300 million people to defend. We outnumber them. They lose, except if you are a pawn and you're used. Remember what he said? Are there enough to organize and capitalize on it? We lose if there are too many pawns. How do you make pawns? You make sure there's a lack of education. Why was it illegal to help a slave learn how to read? Because if they could read, they could figure it out. Too many people don't have any idea that we gained our independence from Great Britain in 1776. Too many people get their news from Comedy Central. Did you ever hear your mother or father say, "Oh, I get my news from Johnny Carson"? That's a comedy show. This is an opinion show. There's news on this network as well. Know the difference. We have to change possible pawns to defenders.